Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. I'm Brittany Lawfer.
And I'm Alexis Adams. For the second week, the Globe has broken a story, and this time it surrounds one of Point Park's athletics teams, and we have the story.
And the budget crisis here in Pennsylvania has now reached the film industry. Find out how.
And here in Pittsburgh, there are some great animal shelters. See how a student here adopted a way to highlight them.
And Daybreak starts right now. Why did I say and Daybreak? I don't know.
Really trying to make your voice like
Today's been gorgeous. What do you think?
Gorgeous. You know I'm happy. Everybody knows I'm happy. It was nice and sunny.
I think there was a little bit of hint of snow after Thanksgiving.
Oh no, we have to figure all that out.
Phil?
Thanks, ladies. So yeah, like I said, that it's going to be very nice today. 40 degrees is the high. It is the perfect Thanksgiving week weather. It is actually going to heat up throughout the week, though. Tuesday, a little bit of cloud coverage is going to move on in. Temperature will rise to 46, but as we hit Wednesday and Thursday, we will break back into the 50s with sun. It's going to be absolutely perfect out there. And as we move into Thanksgiving and Black Friday, the temperature stays pretty consistent. On Thursday, like we said, it is going to be 53 degrees, sunny. It's going to be perfect for traveling, seeing the families on Thanksgiving. Black Friday, get out there, buy all the goods, 53 degrees and cloudy. Some rain will move in on Saturday. It'll be 51 degrees. But other than that, it looks like snow will stay out of the forecast for now. Sunday will top off at 46 degrees. The low is 22, but I don't expect any snow to be moving in on yet. But that's all I have for the coverage this week. Back to you guys at the couch.
Point Park's Black Student Union rallied together for a cause last Monday at Village Park. Students of all ethnicities and majors showed their support and dressed in all black to stand united with University of Missouri. Black Student Union President Christian Moore said he wanted to not only show support for the students in Missouri, but also build a sense of community here on campus, saying, quote, "We have the ability to change things," unquote. The students chanted and held signs, all in efforts to not only acknowledge what happened at Missouri, but to spark change here at Point Park. This was just one demonstration out of a week full of demonstrations for BSU. The week-long events ended with an open mic night dedicated to change and fair treatment for all races.
A student-run advertising agency has been launched here at Point Park University. Bison Media, temporarily named Spark Media, will give students hands-on experience in advertising and public relations. They will have the chance to apply classroom knowledge and build a working portfolio. Clubs on campus will be able to benefit from free marketing and advertising assistance. Bison Media will offer services like graphic design, social media, event planning, and press management. The agency will accept students from all majors and encourages students to join. For more information, visit AdFed and PRSSA's Facebook pages.
With a great season last year, the Point Park men's soccer team was undefeated. However, the team is facing some disappointing consequences. The team must forfeit all 15 of last season's wins after an ineligible player took the field all season long. The players' credentials, who will remain unidentified, were ineligible under the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, but ineligible due to an administrative clerical error. Dan Swegla, Point Park's athletic director, first learned of the players' ineligibility in August. The Pioneers' record for the NIAA and the record on Point Park's athletic website has not changed from last season, and it is unclear at this time if the men's team will have to forfeit its KIAC Commissioner's Cup, which was awarded to the team at the start of this academic year, based on the results of the 2014 season.
Impulse, the dance group here at Point Park University, put together a dance-a-thon that took place on November 13th in the Lawrence Hall Ballroom.
With more on that event, let's go to Bianca Brandon, who has the story.
Here in the ballroom is where dance-a-thon took place. Students are prepared to give a performance of their lifetime to help raise money for the Children's Education Fund. This was the motivation that kept the beat going, helping homeless children. Impulse dancers have been preparing for months. They organized the DJ, the music, and the space, and also working with Chipotle and Moe's to provide delicious food.
We held our second annual dance-a-thon this year. It was Friday, November 13th. Woohoo, Friday the 13th, whatever. And let's see, it was our big event. We do one huge event each year. And setting it up, it takes almost a year to try to get everything put together because it takes so much. You have to get food, you have to get the space, different performers. And this year we added performers to, instead of just Impulse performing. So we had Gabe Reed come and play guitar and sing for us. Hannah Jenkins from Pioneer Records performed for us. And Naru, he has his own album and his own crew. I don't even know how that happened. But we had all these different foods. We created raffle baskets this year. And all the money that we raised was for the Homeless Children's Education Fund. And that is in the Strip District, which is really close to us. And it's nice to raise money for these kinds of charities because you get to help people out, but you also profit a little bit from it because you get to host like these big events and get people involved, and it just creates a night of community and dance.
Impulse wanted to raise awareness that there are children out there who need help with funding to go to school. And the group wanted to make it a fun event, so why not think about more people that would participate and spread the message?
70% of the proceeds went to the Homeless Children's Education Fund. I had a lot of fun at this event because there was a lot of food, of course, and who doesn't like food? And we had a lot of performers, so we had singers, and then of course Impulse performed, and there was an open dance floor and games to play, and it was just a lot of fun, and everyone could participate and join in what they liked.
Impulse raised over $1,000 for the Children's Education Fund. The club is already in action and ready for their upcoming events. Reporting for Point News, I'm Bianca Brandon.
This week, the biggest story in the entertainment world was a bombshell dropped by one of Hollywood's most infamous women.
Oh, yeah, and he definitely was not winning. Let's go to Veronica with more information.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't already heard, Charlie Sheen is HIV positive. And just in case you care, Sheen was diagnosed 4 years ago, and yes, he is confirming that he has paid people off to keep his diagnosis hush-hush. He was quoted in a sit-down with today's Matt Lauer saying, quote, "I have paid those people, not that many, but enough to where it has depleted the future." When asked how many people he had to pay off, Sheen responded, quote, "I don't want to guess wrong, but enough to bring it into the millions. What people forget is that the money they are taking, is from my children." And speaking of children, Kim Kardashian's rep has confirmed that she will not be induced early despite previous pregnancy problems with North. Quote, "This pregnancy, I have a little bit more anxiety just because I know what's to come, and it really is inevitable. Some of the issues that I'm going to have. You know, I have a high-risk delivery, and all of that gives me such anxiety." Despite her anxiety, Mr. and Mrs. West's bundle of joy is due Christmas Day. Since the holidays are approaching quickly, I turned to MovieInsider.com to get the scoop on what movies you should be tuning into this season. Christmas Eve, produced by Larry King, stars Patrick Stewart and Juliana Gill. This story is both dramatic and comedic, with 6 different New Yorkers get stuck in an elevator together on Christmas Eve. I will be interested to see how that ends when it hits theaters December 4th. And who doesn't love a little Alvin and the Chipmunks? Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip, is set to release December 23rd. This movie about another chipmunk adventure where Alvin and his brothers have to take a long road trip in order to stop their dad Dave from proposing to his new girlfriend and from gaining a terrible stepbrother, or should I say stepmunk. These two movies aren't the only two we have to look forward to this holiday season. Brittany and Alexis, are there any movies you can't wait to see?
I actually can't wait to see the Chipmunks movie because
Yes.
as old as I am, I'm still a Chipmunk fan.
Oh my gosh, I remember singing that song in like a little performing group.
Yes, and Snapchat has the reverse thing where it makes your voice sound like
yes. It's so much fun.
that's all me. But coming up after the break, we will speak with one of our own here at UView about a documentary she just completed.
And the host of the shows here at UView took their talents to the radio. Find out how later in the show.
We are a social people. We share our inspiration, wisdom, creations, and memories. We share what makes us laugh and what angers us. Built on the notion of a free flow of ideas, our country thrives on the freedom of speech. Without it, who would watch over our governing powers? And how would we share our history to make a difference for the future? It's this freedom to share that gives us a reason to listen.
Start your morning with City News.
Start your morning with campus news.
Start your morning with political coverage.
Start your morning with fun.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak.
Did you know that Point Park has a cheerleading squad?
Don't get it confused.
Not only do our cheerleaders represent Point Park at regional and national competitions, but they also promote spirit and awareness of every sports team on campus. Come to any men's or women's varsity basketball game at home to watch the cheerleaders perform at halftime and cheer from the sidelines from the first jump ball to the final buzzer. Sports not your thing? You can catch the cheer team lead the crowd at the fall and spring pep rallies as well, or at several competitions around Pittsburgh each year. So what are you waiting for? Show the Point Park cheerleaders the support they show you.
We know you're wondering what the A-list celebrities are up to.
Well, here at Entertainment on Point, we're wondering too.
Have you heard about James Franco and Seth Rogen's new movie?
No, but have you heard Beyonce's new single?
Did you see what she was wearing on that red carpet?
Honey, that was not cute.
Did you see what happened on Scandal this week?
No, I was too busy keeping up with the Kardashians.
No matter what your guilty pleasure is, we've got you covered.
Entertainment on Point. Get to the point of pop culture.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Now in studio, we are joined by our very own Aubrey Hankin to talk about her very own documentary.
So Aubrey, this was for a class, correct?
Yes, it was for the Advanced TV Production class taught by Tim Hudson, and there really weren't any guidelines at all. He just said go make a 15 to 20 minute documentary, and he just sent us out on our way and without a crew. So it was really difficult because I was kind of by myself. I mean, I had help from Phil and Zach and other people from UView, but he sent us out on our own and just said make a documentary. He didn't care about the topics. We were allowed to do everything ourselves. So it was pretty
So
fun.
what made you pick your topic?
Well, my topic is about animal shelters and how people should adopt versus purchasing from pet stores and no longer supporting puppy mills. Because puppy mills just have such bad conditions. And
What is a puppy mill? Can you elaborate on that?
A puppy mill is basically, it's where a bunch of dogs are kept because they are forced to breed. So it's if you want that purebred, that beautiful purebred, that's probably from a puppy mill because they force these dogs, they have them in horrible conditions and they force them
like the Robinson Township controversy with the Pets Co., I think it was, or something.
Yeah, exactly. So things like that. So these animal shelters, the puppy mill dogs are abused and stuff, so then the animal shelters try to save them and stuff like that. So that's why I say that people should adopt versus purchasing from puppy mills or puppy stores, because then you're feeding that business that treats these animals so poorly.
Were you already knowledgeable about puppy mills versus adopting before doing this documentary, or this is where you gained most of your knowledge?
Kind of both, because I had adopted dogs, but I've also purchased a dog from a pet store. And so, but once we adopted the dogs, we just kind of saw how much more thankful the dog was, almost something like that. So ever since we adopted our first dog, that's all that we do now. We only adopt now in my family. And so I always knew that adopting was kind of the better way to go, but I never really looked into it heavily, the numbers and stuff like that, until I did this documentary.
And then where did you do the documentary at? Was it a local Pittsburgh shelter?
Yes, it was at the Butler County Humane Society that I mainly focused my documentary on. They were so helpful there. They were willing to answer all of my questions. They gave me all the footage that I could have possibly wanted. So they were very, very helpful over there. So I definitely recommend checking them out if you guys want to adopt a puppy.
Did you see any puppies you wanted to adopt?
Let me tell you. Yes. There were so many cute, adorable dogs. There was this one dog that followed me and Phil around with the happiest face on, and he was such a cute little actor for the camera. And
is he in the documentary?
He is in the documentary. Yeah, and then there's another dog there that was actually a really sad story. Michelle Sloop, the executive director of the Butler County Humane Society, was telling me about. His name is Pruitt. And for some reason, he was just not treated well. He wasn't taken care of with his family before. So the family, his owners, literally, there was a 6-foot fence outside their whole perimeter, and they picked him up and dumped him over the fence. So And I mean, Michelle thinks that they did that because like they cared for him and they wanted him to be able to be treated because he was sick. He had a skin
That was
infection.
their way of setting them free or
I
something?
guess, I don't know, but I mean, he had, all of his hair had fallen off, like he had a skin infection. He requires specific food. He has a gluten allergy, things like that. So there's a lot wrong with him.
Will he be adoptable?
He will be adoptable eventually. He's not adoptable yet, but he will be eventually, and he's the main part of my documentary. So if you watch it, you'll definitely see a lot of Pruitt.
We actually got a chance to watch some of your documentaries. Absolutely. If you didn't watch it, go watch it because it's going to touch your heart. It made me want to adopt a dog and a cat, a hamster, whatever it may be. But how did you feel though while you were? Did you feel like some type of emotional connection with the animals and yourself, or?
Well, definitely while I'm filming it, I mean, you see all these dogs and you hear all their stories because they're telling you about all these like horrific things that could have happened. But while I was filming it, I just felt so bad for all these dogs. So I just wanted them to, like, I just want to get my message across that people should adopt because it would really save a lot of lives.
Awesome.
That sounds beautiful.
Awesome documentary. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, I can't wait to sit down and watch this documentary of yours. It sounds awesome.
Yes, and thank you so much for stopping by and taking time to talk with us.
Of course.
And if anyone's looking for a pet this holiday, why not go check out one of the great shelters we have here in Pittsburgh. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Ever wanted to be behind the mic and have the world listening to your show on campus? Well, it's just as simple as joining WPPJ, Point Park's student-run radio station, located on the second floor of Lawrence Hall, right next to the dining services. Listeners can tune in using Point Park's website or through the TuneIn app by searching WPPJ. WPPJ welcomes any new DJs that want to get involved, so be heard. Do you have what it takes?
An expression, a belief, a symbol, freedom to worship, an unspoken word. To express yourself means standing up for what you believe in. There's a freedom to worship, and a freedom to live. To speak never saying a word, to love, to let your voice be heard. The light of your own path. For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
With the stills off last weekend, it was very quiet around the city of Pittsburgh Sunday afternoon.
With the recap of what happened to the Steelers before they went into their bye week, let's go over to Blaine King with the sports report.
Thank you, ladies. Before the Steelers got a much-needed bye week, they took on the rival Cleveland Browns at Heinz Field. Landry Jones was slated to be the starting quarterback for injured quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, but Roethlisberger suited up for the game, but as the backup to Jones. On the Steelers' first drive, Jones went down with an apparent ankle injury, which forced Roethlisberger to come in and take command of the offense. In a backup role, Roethlisberger arguably had his best game of the season as he passed for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 of which went to wide receiver Antonio Brown. The Steelers now have a record of 6-4 and will head up to the Northwest to play the defending NFC champs, Seattle Seahawks. With the NBA season already a month in, we will take a look at 2 teams who were in the Western Conference Finals last season. First will be the Golden State Warriors, who look better than they did last season when they won the NBA Finals. Behind superstar point guard Steph Curry, who is playing lights out and averaging 33.7 points a game and 5.9 assists a game. The Warriors have the best record in the NBA. Also last week, the Western Conference runner-up, Houston Rockets, fired head coach Kevin McHale after struggling during the first month of the season with a record of 4-7. Assistant coach J.B. Bickerstaff will serve as interim head coach. Everybody has their say on whether NASCAR is a sport or not, but a Hall of Fame career has come to an end for one of NASCAR's finest drivers. Jeff Gordon, who announced last season that this year would be his final season as an everyday driver, has had a storybook ending to his career. Gordon, who is in position to finish his career as a champion again, adding a 5th championship to his storied career. Through his career, Gordon has a total of 93 wins and 323 top 5 finishes and 4 championships with a potential 5th with the results of yesterday's race at Homestead. Now, with some local stories, let's go back to a couple of Hall of Famers in my book, Brittany and Alexis.
The state budget impasse has been a problem for not only students and nonprofits, but for television and movies as well. The Post-Gazette announced last week that Pittsburgh will no longer be home to the TV series American Gods due to the budget impasse because of its delayed approval of the project's film tax credit. The Star series is based on Neil Gaiman's fantasy novel of the same name and will be produced by Pushing Daisy's producer Brian Fuller. Production is set to break ground in early 2016, but instead of taking that $60 million to Pittsburgh, it will likely be going to Toronto instead. As far as the budget is concerned, Governor Tom Wolf is optimistic to have the 5-month budget impasse resolved before Thanksgiving.
The city of Pittsburgh is taking advantage of this unusually warm weather by conducting a 3-day pothole blitz. Lately, over 1,000 service requests have been called in for potholes to the city's 311 response center. Warmer weather allows crew to put down a hot patch, which typically allows longer lasting results than the cold patches they use during the colder months. The pothole requests are primarily from the south side and the east end. The crews are continuing to work over the next few days.
Pittsburgh Light Up Night opened a slew of activities, including the ice rink, People's Gas Holiday Market, and the opening of the Monongahela Incline. The incline reopened a few days before Light Up Night last week after being closed since early September. The $3.5 million project improved its cars, rails, and control system. The incline, which opened in 1870, is the oldest continually operating funicular in the country. The situation in France is one that not only affects Parisians, but people across the globe in many different ways.
With more information on what has been happening in France and the response, we have Alex Marchett with our national news and international news.
Thanks, guys. The world as a whole suffered last Friday as 129 people were killed in 3 different terrorist attacks perpetrated by the Middle Eastern terrorist organization ISIS in Paris. There was a series of 8 different attacks, 3 of which were suicide bombers at the Stade de France, where France was playing Germany in a friendly soccer match. In addition, several shooters attacked the city corners and numerous Paris restaurants. The attack ended as 3 men entered the Théâtre Bataclan, taking several victims hostage and killing 89 people. This attack on humanity prompted Paris to carry out several bombings in ISIS oil fields in Syria, which has also led countries such as the United States, Great Britain, Italy, and Russia as well to state their allegiance and support to the people of France. People from around the world in every walk of life have shown their personal support with the hashtag #PrayForParis. In other news related to the attack, a group entitled Anonymous, who are a group of the top 10 hackers in the world, declared war on ISIS. They, being ISIS, have used the internet to recruit and forge propaganda, while Anonymous has begun to attack those modes of communication, which indirectly not only affects recruiting, but also the large flow of money that ISIS receives. The United States foreign policy stance has been under fire lately, as well as its stance on acceptance of Syrian refugees, which will surely be a main talking point during the upcoming GOP presidential debate December 15th and the Democratic debate December 19th. That's all I have for now. Back to Brittany and Alexis on the couch.
Thanks, Alex. Brittany and I, along with some other of the hosts of shows here at UView, made the walk down the street to visit WPPJ.
Find out why we were down there and what great cause WPPJ was raising money for when we come back.
If you're having trouble with your schoolwork this semester, there's a helpful place on campus that you should know about. On the 7th floor of Lawrence Hall is the Program for Academic Success, which provides services like tutoring and academic counseling. The program's Writing Center is specifically designed to help you with your writing assignments, and you can even get help for them online. Students are encouraged to stop in the office, give a call, or send an email.
Every human being has a purpose, has a dream to have their voices heard, no matter where they come from, no matter where they go. As an American, it is their right to have freedom of speech. I have a dream that one day this message will speak louder than words, that even the quietest voice will not go unnoticed. That is my dream. What is yours? For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
Last week, we had Thariah Devlin in here to tell us about Rockathon, a 67-hour live broadcast that WPPJ does every year out on the second floor of Lawrence Hall to help raise money for the Early Learning Institute.
This year, the hosts of UView were given the opportunity to take part in Rockathon by having all of us host an hour of programming live on air during the event.
We put together a little video showing all of us at Rockathon and all the fun the staff of WPPJ as well as the passersby had experiencing something that has been going on for 35 years.
You're listening to WPPJ 670 AM. We are broadcasting live for 67 hours, second floor of Lawrence Hall for the 35th annual Rockathon.
32 hours for Red Watson. He has not slept yet. He's probably about to start hallucinating. So have fun.
Okay. Disclaimer, I was eating sushi. I didn't eat all day.
I'm sorry about the pretzel and the soup.
But it's an awesome video. It's an awesome video. Minus me eating sushi.
Don, you did a great job.
Awesome job.
That's
Don.
our producer, Don. It was
yes,
great.
it was awesome. But it was definitely lovely to see everybody come out from UView and transition from TV
You've
to
done
radio.
Though, haven't you?
I've done radio.
never
I've been
done
doing radio for about 4 years. I love radio because you get to be a little bit more opinionated in radio.
You should have heard the things we were talking about.
Whatever comes to my mind on radio, I literally say.
We were going through the Facebook feed, and I think we'd say, "Ooh, The Huffington Post just posted something.
This looks like
Well,
something
look
I
at
want
this
to
little
talk
interesting
about.
fact. It was so much fun. I had a great time hosting.
I had
with
a great
you,
time
and
with
this entire
you.
semester so far.
According to the estimates, this year's Rockathon raised more than $1,000 that will be going to the Early Learning Institute. Congratulations to WPPJ on putting together a great event.
That's so wonderful.
It was a great event. I enjoyed it.
And with Thanksgiving only 3 days away, it is about time to start getting everything ready. We will be off next week, but we'll return in 2 weeks with our last episode of Daybreak for the semester and the last Daybreak for our Alexis Adams.
Oh, yes. Please make sure you come back and tune in to 2 weeks to check out Daybreak and get some entertainment, news, and everything in between.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, Point Park.